Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Smile, Unmasking the Business of Dentistry. You don't have to work with me very long to know that I'm going to talk a lot about incremental change and incremental gain, and really the phrase that incremental change leads to exponential gain. And it's one of those things that can get a little tiring, honestly, if you're listening to that, but it's such an important mindset. It's so critical to what we do. And what you find in this business really is that so much of this is about mindset. There's all kinds of talented dentists out there, very talented dentists that are struggling. Some of them are about ready to lose their homes, and I'm serious about that. I have had conversation even in the last week with a very, very talented dentist who is in that situation, and he's in his 60s. It's very sad. We see this more frequently than you might believe. And so what we learn is that it's not just about that clinical skill, it's everything else, and it's the managerial and entrepreneurial pieces. And if we don't spend time on those, we can end up in a situation where incremental change isn't enough. Now we need leaps and bounds to try to get out of the hole that we're in. So incremental change is actually the best road forward. It takes patience, but so did dental school. So did everything that we've ever done that is worth doing. I mean, everything good goes uphill. So if that's what business takes, then that's what it takes. Sometimes we want to get there faster, but really the most sustainable path is the incremental path. It's that step up one thing at a time. And so we really want to make that part of our mindset. I want you to return to it yourself over and over. Of course, I'm going to say it, but I want you to think about that all the time, because then you become like a scanning system. You've got your radar out, you've got your incremental radar out, and you're looking for increments that you can affect today. And the thing about that is that it's doable, it's sustainable. If you have to look for major overhaul all the time with everything else you're trying to do for patients, it's too much. You're going to get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, not only are you stressed, but you become inactive in those areas. So you just let them slide. And then time goes by, and all of a sudden the hole that you didn't want to dig is actually getting deeper. And again, the increments aren't going to get you out of there. So the best path forward is just every day, every week, month, what can I incrementally do to just make something a little bit better? And I promise if you keep that mindset and you keep looking for it, then it will happen in a way that you'll look back and say, look at where we've gone. Now, there's a couple of great books on this that I would highly recommend. One is one of my favorite of all time. It's The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson right here. But The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, this is a classic book. And it seems like it's common sense, but it's this idea that you do these little things that don't seem like they really are amounting to anything. And it can be good or bad habits, but eventually there's a tipping point in that, and you're going to trend towards some very positive change or some negative change. And so I would really encourage that book. The other book that I absolutely love, you may have heard of, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is a classic, and it's really like the idea that matter is made up of atoms, just those little tiny things, and that's really what success is made up out of, is all the little things. And so, whether we're looking at your P&L and we're just looking for that 0.5% somewhere, like in supplies, it's like, do we gain $1,000 a month? Maybe. What's $12,000 a year over 10 years? Well, it's $120,000, but then when it's invested, it's a $250,000 or more just from that little increment. And so these are the examples we want to keep coming back to, and the mindset that we always want to be developing. So Atomic Habits, The Slight Edge, that's really the key to success in business and keeping that focus. So, just a little bit behind the smile again today. Hope that helps and just spurs you on to keep your mindset where it belongs.